Hey guys, so we are in Unit 4, still talking about animals, and we're in Lesson 4. So this one we're talking about health and welfare of animals. So just like people have to eat a balanced diet to stay healthy, so do animals. And it's going to vary on a lot of different things. It's going to vary on where they live. So an animal that's going to be colder in a colder climate, they're going to need more energy, more calories to survive and stay warm. An animal that is in a warm climate, they're probably not going to eat as much. You may notice, like, if you have dogs that live outside mostly, they probably don't eat as much in the summer as they do in the winter. This is because they don't need as many calories to survive. Some other factors that are going to change based on livestock diet is their age. You know, as an animal gets older, they're going to tend to eat less than when they're younger and growing. Gender, typically, male species are going to eat more. The weather is going to have something to do with it. Just like you. Other things that are going to affect their nutrition are if they're pregnant, they're going to need some additional nutrition. You've got to be aware of that. If you are feeding out breeding heifers, so heifers that are bred, they're going to need more higher nutrition than those that are not. Those that graze, particularly in hilly regions, also use energy, so they need more energy to get around and go get their food than those that just get their food from a trough. So lots of different things that coincide with their diet and what to feed them. So for a farmer, since the goal is to give animals the right nutrition with the minimum amount of food. Now, that's not saying that the farmer is wanting to starve these animals. It's a business, right? So feed costs money. Even dog food, like if you ever look at the prices, just like everything else, they have gone up and they always go up. So how the farmer is going to make their money is by feeding, getting the best product they can on the least amount of money into it. So that's going to be the least amount of money they spend on feed, right? If they spend, $1,000 feeding that calf and then they sell that calf for $1,000, did they make any money? No. So it is a business. So that's what we're talking about today. Forage. Forage is really important. Forage is the grains and grasses consumed by livestock. It's a staple of most farm animals. So this is mostly is going to be like grassland is their forage, or hay is what we consider forage. For animals that don't graze, so grazing is like cows and sheep and goats. They go out and they keep moving around and eat the grass. Forage could be corn stalks or hay. So an animal that really doesn't graze would be like a pig. Many farmers take advantage of local resources when they look for feed. So like it says, for example, in California, cattle may dine on almond husk. In Idaho, they may eat potato peelings. In Texas, they eat corn husk a lot whenever hay is run scarce. When livestock can eat byproducts from other ag industries, it benefits the environment. So it all kind of goes together. So some specific nutrients that are required depend on the animal, but all livestock are going to need these things right here. So they're all going to need protein, minerals, vitamins, carbs, and fats and oils. Even though, yes, most of them are herbivores, they only eat plants, they still need their protein in their diet. So if an animal is deficient in protein, it may not be able to properly digest and get nutrients from grains. They're not going to have as much energy. They need minerals. Most important are calcium and phosphorus. These maintain their bones, teeth, and other organs. They get minerals through feed, through people put out mineral tubs where it's just free range, where they can go eat some mineral whenever they want to. In the winter, this is really important because in the winter, the grass loses its natural minerals. Vitamins, just like people need them, so do animals. It helps prevent, sickness. Keeps them healthy. Carbs are important. They need all that energy. Plants are 75 to 80% carbs. Most of the forage that animals eat is going to be carbs. Animals that are pregnant or nursing, they're going to need significantly greater because they are supplying their babies. Fats and oils. Fats and oils provide energy. Fat is desirable because it adds flavor to the meat, right? And cattle, that's a big thing. For example, most grass-fed cattle, they're leaner. If you've seen grass-fed beef, like compared to grain-fed beef, I'm eating grain all day long because grain has more fat throughout, and that's going to be tastier. But grass-fed is just more solid red, and it lacks the marbling, and to me, it lacks flavor. So then it says properly hydrated water is the most important nutrient for animals. They've got to have access to water. Most are going to get it through a pond, but some people, depending on where they are, they can have it in a trough. So animals, they're able to eat things a lot differently than we can because they have different stomachs. Well, certain animals. So ruminants are animals that their stomach looks like this. So for us, we just have this one. We just have the abomasum. But for ruminants, so that's going to be like cows, goats, lambs, deer, they're going to have 4 compartments. Now, one trick question that people always say is, how many stomach does a cow have? And people will say 4. No, a cow has 1 stomach. This whole thing is the stomach, but it has 4 compartments. So make sure you know that. All right, so let's go back out here. Roughage, that's a vocab word. That's just a fiber of plants that's indigestible. Roughage is really good, like if you have an animal that has really loose stool and it goes to the bathroom, roughage will be hay. Give it to them and it helps solidify them. All right, so ruminants, that's what I talked about. That's cow, sheep, goats, bison, deer. Those are ruminants. Classification by type of digestion. That means they have 4 chambers to their stomach. Make sure you know that. That's a good vocab. So the first chamber is going to break down food. Then the food is regurgitated. So if you may have seen like a cow, looks like it's chewing gum in a field, that's chewing its cud. It throws that food back up. I know it's pretty gross. And it chews on it more. And then it sends it back to the other stomachs. This is why many livestock can pull nutrition from foods that others can't, because they're basically eating it twice. So you've got these 4 parts. I don't think it goes over them, so I'm going to go over those parts really quick. So the abomasum is called the true stomach. This is what we have. We have an abomasum, basically. So this is where like all of the stomach acid is going to be and where the real breakdown is going to be. The rumen, this is a big, large storage area. So this is a large part of the stomach. This has really important live bacteria in it. And then these bacteria are super important because these are what are going to gain nutrition, help get nutrition from the forage and grass. Okay, the omasum, it's got lots of different layers that food is going to go through and get broken down even more. And the reticulum, right here off to the side, that is really, we call it the honeycomb. It's to catch all the bad things. So the reticulum, cows, they're out in the pasture. They don't know any different, especially goats. They may eat things they're not supposed to, like a balloon or a plastic sack or even a tin can. I don't know. That's all going to go in the reticulum. So that's where the bad stuff goes to keep it from getting absorbed through the normal stomachs. Now, they can ingest too many things in the reticulum, and you have to go clean that out. So you've got to watch that. So most animals are monogastric. Mono means 1. That's what we are. We have 1 stomach. So humans, pigs, horses, and dogs and cats. So we can digest fiber because bacteria in our stomach. But we're not able to get as much nutrition from it as ruminants do. So we don't get as much nutrition from a salad as a cow would. So we don't need as much roughage, and we need more nutrient-rich foods. So horses are monogastric herbivores, but their digestive system's a little bit different than ours. They have very sensitive digestion. This is one of the easiest ways to take down a horse is they have digestive issues. You may have heard of colic. That's when digestion doesn't go well. causes colic, which is another word for a digestive issue. Food gets stuck in the digestive system, it can kill the horse. So it's a very serious thing for horses. They're less capable of storing energy than animals. They need to eat throughout the day rather than just a few times. So they have to constantly be eating. So birds are similar to those of other livestock. Their exact diet depends on their purpose. So like chickens that lay eggs, they need more calcium than broiler chickens. Remember, broiler are those that are grown for meat. They need more protein because they're meaty birds. They're putting on the muscle. One unique thing about birds' digestive system is they need to ingest grit. So that can be rocks, that can be hard sand. So they have no teeth. They have no way to chew up that food and break it down, right? So the grit serves just like breaking down and chewing. So they're going to ingest that grit and they're going to ingest the food. And in the stomach, it's going to go together and it's going to break down all of those crumbles or whatever the bird is eating. So that's really unique. They kind of chew it in their stomach, basically, then in their mouth. So that's the nutrition part. Now we're going on to the welfare part. So big question, big concern for a lot of people is, do animals have rights? Should we can be concerned for their lives? U.S. is really divided. You may be divided. As an agriculturalist, though, you're probably on the side of animals are grown for the purpose of food or clothing. So one of the most controversial topics around farming is how animals are treated. There's a lot of different animal rights activist groups like PETA that go in and they try to advocate for animals, but they also they tend to, inflate the things that they see a lot. So this is a picture of a chicken farm. Those chickens, some people may claim that they don't have enough room. However, we have laws aside where those chickens, they have to have such amount of room and those farmers have to abide by it, and they do. So many states have passed laws to protect the welfare used to produce eggs. So eliminate battery cages, which were used in 95% of eggs in 2014. They were reduced to 72%. They were 18 by 20 inches and they had 10 hens in them. The floors were tilted so the eggs could roll out, but they got really crowded. And the chickens couldn't even spread their wings, so they went in and they changed these. By 2022, all eggs sold in California need to come from cage-free hens. So we're kind of transitioning and we're going for the animals. So some things have been helped and improved by this, but this does make it harder on the farmer with all these regulations. You got to keep in mind they're trying to have a business and trying to keep things going. So, it's a personal choice, however you feel. I think some good things have come out of these organizations, and I think some bad things have come out. So it's kind of give and take on where you stand on the animal livestock